Welcome everybody, my name is Ankit Patel and here we are going to study about standard 10, how do organisms reproduce, and in this chapter we have reached the topic reproduction in human beings. The mode of reproduction which humans are undergoing, are sexual mode, right? In this reproduction, obviously in human beings there are male individuals and female individuals, and both of these individuals have different type of bodies. They are producing different type of germ cells which fuse for fertilization, and new individuals are developing from that. But before going to all those things, let us understand how growth are occurring and how some new changes are occurring in our body. You are must experiencing new changes or new developments in your body right now. In this age, when you are studying in 10th standard, you must be observing all these changes in your body. Earlier, your body is growing, right? Your body size is increasing. It is nothing but enlargement of body. Your height is increasing. Your body but now there will be some different type of changes, right? That is changes in proportion of head size and body size. Then there will be newer developments, right? Like more muscular development of shoulder in males especially, then breast enlargement in females, right? There are several different type of changes which occurs in both male and female, and there are some changes which occurs to only male or to only females. Some of the changes are common in both male and female, right? Like growing of thin hairs on armpits, then on genital area between the thighs. Even their skin becomes darker. Then our skin is producing more oil on it, right? Sometimes pimples are also seen on our skin. So these are some common changes which can be found in this age, which you don't find earlier in your body, right? Furthermore, there are different type of developmental changes in different type of individuals. In female, breast size are increasing and around the nipples, skin becomes darker. In males, facial thick hairs are growing, which we call as beard, and even the voice becomes thicker, or pitch of voice get lower. So these are the changes which can be found in different type of individuals. Moreover, in males, there is an enlargement of penis, and even sometimes the penis get erected. All these changes are occurring gradually. It takes certain period of some months to few years for all this development. Again, in all the individuals, rate of development of these changes are varying. In some individuals, this rate are occurring at somewhat rapid, and in some persons these changes are somewhat slow. So this rate of development varies from person to person. Again, this development also have some variations among different people. Like we have different type of nose and fingers, so we have different type of hair growth pattern, size. We have different shape and size of breast or penis, and all these changes are actually indicating sexual maturity of an individual. All these changes are called secondary sexual characteristics because these changes are different. Some of these characteristics are different. All these changes are called secondary sexual characteristics because some of these characteristics are different in male individual and female individual. That's why they are called sexual characteristics. And secondary because this growth does not belong to, this changes does not belongs to primary growth, right? Wherein body enlargement is occurring, right? So all developmental changes are called secondary sexual characteristics. For overall growth and development of our body, the main priority is primary growth, that is enlargement of our body. It is not secondary sexual characteristics. So during the completion, or when our body is about to complete our growth rate becomes very much slower. And at this time, this secondary sexual characteristics develops. And this time, when secondary sexual characteristics are developing, this duration is called adolescence. We know that in sexual mode of reproduction, germ cells or gametes, gametes are needed to be fused with each other for fertilization, for formation of zygote, which will develop into a new individual. In some animals, this fertilization is occurring externally. Externally means outside the body, right? Here, both male individual and female individuals are ejecting out their gametes, and these gametes are getting these gametes get fused in external medium, right? This medium, most of the time, this medium is water. So this gametes get fused with each other in water medium, and this fertilization results in formation of zygote from which new individual develop. While in some other animals, male gamete is transferred to the body of female gamete, right? During copulation or mating, male gamete is ejecting out from the male's body and it is going in the female's body, right? During mating. For this, ejection of male gamete in the female's body should be done, right? So this transfer of male gamete from male's body to female body lead to the fusion of male gamete and female gamete, which is already present inside the female body, right? And this results in fertilization and formation of zygote, which will lead to the development of zygote and to the new individual, right? So this is how reproduction is occurring in humans, because in humans fertilization is occurring internally, that is in female's body, right? So here this fertilization is also called internal fertilization. Again, for all this internal type of transfer, that is for internal fertilization, a male organism or male individual needs certain modification in their body, that is having penis, right? Through which this male gametes can injected in female's body, and female body must have female reproductive organ to receive sperm cells. They must have breast also for feeding young ones, because this young one need nutrition from breastfeeding, right? Because they don't have, this young ones doesn't have certain enzymes which can digest normal food, so they rely on mother's milk up to certain age. So for all this kind of development, there are certain modifications which are needed by an individual to undergo sexual reproduction. Now let's see the whole structure. To begin with, we will begin with sperm, right? Because sperm is the, testis, because testis is the organ. Let's begin with testis, because testis is the organ where sperm formation is occurring, and for this process it requires lesser temperature than the body's normal temperature. That's why testes are not present in abdominal cavity, but they are protrude outside the abdominal cavity and present in scrotum sac, right? They are present in scrotum sac. Now this testis is producing sperm, and from this testis it will come out in the vas deferens. This vas deferens, it overlaps the ureter. It overlaps the ureter and again comes down. This ureter is the tube which is bringing urine from kidney to urinary bladder. This ureter is bringing urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Understood? Now this vast difference, secretion of seminal vesicle, or seminal gland is mixing, right? Then from from this urinary bladder, urine also comes here in this duct only, right? Here seminal vesicle, not seminal vesicle, but here vas deferens and urethra get merged with each other, and now this tube is called urinogenital duct, through which urine as well as sperm, both of them are passing. That's why it's called urinogenital ducts. Understood? Urino because of urine and genital because of sperm. That's why it's called urinogenital duct. Okay. Now in here, secretion of prostate gland, secretion of seminal gland or seminal vesicles. Understood? And one more gland is there. Here it is not labeled because in our book it is not labeled, but it is called bulbourethral gland. So secretion of all these three type of glands are added in here. There is actually a pair of seminal vesicles, right? Here a pair of seminal vesicles is present and pair of bulbourethral glands are there. So from these glands, secretion are added in the added with the sperm. Secretion of these glands are very, very essential because seminal vesicles are actually 60% of what comes out as semen. Understood? This semen is consisting of sperm cells and secretion of all these glands, right? And 60% of it is seminal vesicles, right? It is called semen. It is whitish viscous fluid, right? It is whitish viscous fluid. And 60% of is seminal vesicle, because for sperm cell to survive, because it has to reach to female gamete in female's body as well outside male's body. So for make them survival, they need nutrition, and secretion of this seminal vesicles actually providing the nutrition to this sperm cells. Okay, this prostate gland is also helping in activation of sperm cell. So secretion of these glands are very, very important for sperm cell to remain active and alive. Okay. Then it will move further. Then if we move further, this organ comes which is called penis, right? It is not labeled here, so let's label here. It is called penis. This organ is for ejecting sperm and injecting sperm in female's body, right? Because female reproductive organ, vagina is there, and through vaginal passage these sperm cells enter in female's reproductive system. Understood? And for that delivery, penis is there. Again, penis have erectile tissue through which erection of penis can occur here. Understood? And through this duct, through this opening, sperm cells will come out in the semen. Sperm cells are male gametes carrying DNA in its nucleus, and this DNA is paternal DNA which will come in a new individual if this sperm cell get unite or get fused with female gamete, right? And it is having tail-like structure which is helping for locomotion of the sperm cells, because for such a unicellular or microscopic cell, destination like oviduct of female reproductive system is actually very much farther even from vaginal passage, right, where it is delivered by penis. So to cross this distance they need a locomotory organelle, and as locomotory structure they have tail.